We're just 4 weeks away from the Iowa caucuses. And while former President Donald Trump holds a commanding lead in the state, Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis find themselves in a war of words. Here's some of what we heard in Iowa earlier today.
And if you punch me, I punch back. Ron DeSantis has lied in every one of his commercials. They've been fact-checked.
There's a real risk that she would send American troops to Ukraine to fight. And I look, as the only veteran in the race, that is not in our interest.
CBS News campaign reporters Nidia Cavazos and Navarro join us now in what is clearly a tropical paradise. Nidia is following the Haley campaign, Aaron is following the DeSantis campaign, and they're wearing their winter clothes as is advised. Aaron, let's start off with the issue of Ron DeSantis stumping with Congressman Tom Massie of Kentucky. Why is that important, and why is that potentially controversial?
Scott, that's how we know the Iowa caucus is getting closer when it gets colder, but the attacks are getting hotter. The Governor DeSantis and Haley have really been lobbing attacks at each other in the past couple of weeks beyond the debate stage. And the latest came this weekend from Nikki Haley's campaign, where they allege that Thomas Massie, a congressman that can maybe take some pretty controversial votes, as you know, covering Capitol Hill, Scott, and saying that he is the most anti-Israel Republican in Congress. Take a listen to what Nikki Haley had to say in Iowa.
Ron DeSantis, who says Ukraine's a territorial dispute and that this is Israel's war, not America's war, turns around and brings in a Republican into Iowa that is the most anti-Israel Republican there is, who voted with the squad.
And I asked Massie and DeSantis, who were campaigning together in Iowa this past Saturday, about Haley's campaign and the comment that they made about Massie. Take a listen to what Massie and DeSantis had to say. Nikki Haley's campaign actually went after Governor DeSantis yesterday, and they called you the most anti-Israel Republican in Congress. Given some of your votes, some of the things you said about AIPAC, things like that, can you kind of address that?
Well, first of all, let me say, I agree with Ron DeSantis on about 85% of the things. And you can go back and look at our votes. We didn't think alike on foreign policy, right? I'm here to support him because I know what's in his heart. I know he's like the smartest guy I ever met in Congress. There's no close second, okay? And so I'm supporting him as a person, and we're going to have policy differences.
Look, Massie is one of DeSantis' friends when he was in Congress, but DeSantis later on in that answer said, we may not agree when it comes to foreign policy, and DeSantis made it clear that he is pro-Israel, but he thinks him and Massie have enough in common that they can campaign and, advocate for a different person to represent the party for the White House.
Nidia, obviously Nikki Haley is trying to grow her base of support. I'm wondering how enthusiastic her base of support is. What are you hearing from Haley potential voters?
Yes, well, voters here in Iowa very much know that they have less than 30 days to make up their minds and stand behind a candidate. Many say, Iowa here, according to the latest polls, and according to even CBS latest poll on Sunday, shows that Trump continues to be the front runner. He continues to lead and historically lead here in Iowa. But here in Iowa, what I'm getting from the ground is that while Trump continues to lead, a lot of voters are also very much tired of the drama. They're tired of the drama that comes with Donald Trump. And though they say they very much support his policies, they've supported him in the past, they're looking around to see if there's another candidate who will sort of resemble his policies, but without the drama. And in this case, many voters are attending Nikki Haley's campaign events. And what I often hear is that they're sort of still deciding between Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and Trump. But let's take a listen and see what they had to say.
But I'm certainly leaning in support towards Ambassador Haley. I think her experience as a governor and also her foreign policy experience she gained by being the United Nations ambassador is a great combination.
I think Trump, I think what he's doing what he will do is great. Right now, though, I'm not fully 100% for him. That's why I'm kind of here today, just trying to expand my horizons.
I've heard a lot of stuff about her. I've been supporting her for a while now, but to put a face to the name and, really see how she's going to, clean up the country.
You know, and border issues here in Iowa continue to be very much of importance to voters. They say that they want border security. And according to the latest CBS poll, it also shows that the majority of the GOP likely caucus goers here in Iowa and also for New Hampshire, they very much support mass deportation. So that gives you a sense of where voters stand. And though a lot of them have been supporting Trump in the past, they say they're tired and they're looking around, and we'll see what they have to say on January 15th.
Aaron, it's clear Ron DeSantis is making a large-scale bet in Iowa. I'm wondering, though, over the past few days, the past couple of weeks on your reporting, if this is a make-or-break state to him now.
It does feel like it's getting closer to that. From talking to state legislators that support DeSantis, strategists both in D.C., Texas, and Florida, they think that for DeSantis to have a good night, he has to create the political earthquake of maybe beating Trump here in Iowa, or at least coming within 10 points at a close second. They say if the polls kind of borne out and the gap between him and this Trump is still there, the path for argument for a viable, path to the nomination just looks more and more murky. And when you look beyond Iowa at New Hampshire and South Carolina, these are states that Nikki Haley right now at this moment is polling much better than DeSantis. And it really is becoming, the stakes are really getting higher for DeSantis in Iowa, and that's why he's putting so much focus, has invested so much time, and has really deployed a good ground game here, according to Republicans I've talked to.
Nidia, let's talk about those New Hampshire numbers. What's the reaction inside the Haley campaign to what is, relatively speaking, a strong set of New Hampshire numbers?
Yes, definitely. It is strong, and these latest numbers show that Nikki Haley continues to gain momentum in New Hampshire. And while New Hampshire is a state that, again, Trump continues to lead, what the polls revealed is that Haley is gaining ground on Trump. She's seen as a candidate that is likable, that is prepared, and that is much more reasonable than former President Donald Trump. And these numbers to her favor actually come just after Nikki Haley had a big week here in New Hampshire after Governor Sununu endorsed her. And so we definitely do see this enthusiasm within her crowds. We see the support. And this is a stark contrast to Iowa, where we tend to see a lot of people at her events. They tend to be undecided. But in New Hampshire, they're standing behind her. And also, I want to add in that what also explains and adds up to Nikki Haley's success in New Hampshire is that New Hampshire's primary is also open to independents. So this explains why we continue to see a lot of independents and even Democrats standing behind Nikki Haley at her events.
Just a few seconds left, Nidia. What do you expect in the week ahead from the campaign?
Nikki Haley is going to be campaigning here in Iowa. She's increased the amount of events that she's going to be having. Typically, we would see 1 to 2 events, and now we're seeing that there's 10 events within a 5-day swing. So this is before her team breaks for the holidays, and so we can definitely expect that either she's going to be back in Iowa or New Hampshire to continue to gain on Donald Trump.
Aaron, quickly, what do you have the week ahead with Governor DeSantis?
Iowa. It's all Iowa before Christmas, after Christmas, up until January 15th. That's really what we're expecting from the Florida governor as he really banks his campaign and path to the potential White House here in Iowa.
Looks like you both have a rocking chance at a white Christmas there. Nidia Cavazos, Aaron Navarro, thank you both.